So today's going to be about complex. Right? And you may remember, what is the square root of 9? You would just go, what two numbers that are the same apply to get 9? So that'd be 3, 9. Been doing that for a long time. So if someone said, what is the square root of negative 9? Then you start asking yourself, how can you take the square root of less than nothing? Right? Because the only way to get a negative number is if one's positive and one's negative, and that kind of defeats the purpose of square root. Okay? Now, to help solve that problem, I was created, okay? And what I stands for is imaginary number, and I equals square root of negative 1. Okay? So if you know square root of 9 is 3, the square root of negative 9, you could break that up into square root of 9 times square root of negative 1. But square root of negative 1 is I. So you get 3i. So really the only difference really is if you have a negative sign, you could pull that out and make an I. And square root of 9 is 3. Do you guys see the difference between square root of 9 and square root of negative 9? If the number is positive? If the number in the radical is negative, yes, you will have an I. Otherwise, you will not. Okay. Now, this is a review from Algebra 3. So what is the square root of negative 18? You know it's going to have an I in it, like you just said. How can you break 18 up into two numbers that are the same? So you got 2 times 2 is 4, 3 times 3 is 9, 4 times 4 is 16, 5 times 5 is 25. Is there one? There isn't one. But you can simplify, because it said simplify. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take square root of negative 18. And first what I might do is bring out the negative. Okay? So I could bring out the negative sign and make it an I. Because the square root of negative 1 is I. Okay? And then 18, what times what is 18? 6 times 3. And then 6 is 2 and 3. And you did this in Algebra 3. Do you remember when you would circle pairs that were the same? Like, I have a 2, 3, and 3. Any matches? I have 2 3s, right? So I could pull 1 3 out. For every pair you circle, you pull one of those out. So I'm going to pull the 3 out, and this 2 doesn't have a pair, so it's going to stay inside the radical. So you're 3 I square root of 2. Have you guys done that before? I know you guys have done without the I for sure, but the negative, you just add an I in there. That's the only difference. Okay. What about the square root of negative 25? 5i. That's correct. That was an easy one. The negative comes out to make an I. 5 times. Right? Let's see. These two are the ones we just did, right? So why don't you